When it comes to the animal kingdom, there are a whole lot of creatures you probably haven't seen or heard of, from the long-eared jerboa, whose description is a bit complex, to the Patagonian mara, which shares a similarity with a deer and an antelope. You're sure to be amazed by things you've never seen. Join us as we have a look at 15 creatures you will see for the first time in your life. Number 15. Long-eared jerboa. Look at the creature you see here and you may find it to be difficult to describe. It's called the long-eared jerboa and one of 33 jerboa species that are found in North Africa and the Arabian Peninsula of Asia. Very little is known about the long-eared jerboa as they stay in remote areas. In fact, information about their social behaviors is derived from data that's been gathered from other related species. In regards to their diet and nutrition, these creatures are insectivorous. In other words, they eat mostly flying insects. In terms of appearance, the creature is tiny. It's a rodent that is native to the deserts of northwest China and southern Mongolia. It's reddish-yellow to pale russet with white underparts, having a mouse-like body, rabbit ears, a snout that looks like that of a pig, hind legs that are similar to a miniature model of a kangaroo, and a long tail that is twice its body length. It gives the creature a good balance when it runs and jumps. The creature relies on its incredible jumping abilities to dodge predators when it's out foraging, and it forages for food in open areas with sparse vegetation to avoid competing with gerbils. In addition, it can also hop sideways to confuse predators, and who knows, maybe their long ears allow them to sense a predator's movement from far away. The lifespan of the long-eared jerboa is thought to be between 2 and 3 years, and that makes the IUCN classify it as a species of least concern on its red list. Number 14. The hagfish. Hagfish are not the usual marine fish that you've probably seen. It's an eel-shaped, slime-producing marine fish, and one feature that sets it apart from the others is that it's the only known living animal with a skull but no vertebral column. Hagfish are known to be jawless, but they do have rudimentary vertebrae. There's been a form of debate about this classification. It isn't known if the hagfish was a type of vertebrate that had lost its vertebrae through evolution, or if it represents a stage that precedes the evolution of the vertebral column. In terms of body features, hagfish have elongated eel-like bodies and paddle-like tails. They have naked skin, which also covers the body like a loosely fitting stock, and they feature cartilaginous skulls with tooth-like structures that are composed of keratin. Their mouth has 2 pairs of horny, comb-shaped teeth that are used to grasp their food, and the teeth are on a cartilaginous plate that protracts and retracts. Hagfish can exude copious quantities of milky and fibrous slime or mucus. They're able to produce a lot of slime, which combines with seawater and is used as a form of defense when the creature's in danger. Compared to the slime excreted by other animals, this particular one has very thin fibers that make it much more durable and retentive. When caught by a predator, they can quickly release a large amount of the slime to escape. Hagfish feed on other marine worms and bodies of dead and dying injured sea creatures, which includes those that are larger than themselves. Number 13. The shoebill stork. This is the shoebill stork, also known as the whale-headed stork. It's a large African wading bird, deriving its name from the clog-shaped bill which it uses to catch and hold its food. The average height of the shoebill is 3.8 feet, and you can only find them in swampy regions in and around the White Nile area of northeastern Africa. The shoebill stork is identified by its entirely gray body color, broad wings, long legs, and a head that is large in proportion to its body. It also has exceptionally large eyes. The creature claps the mandibles of its bill together, making a loud and hollow sound. It flies with its head held back high against the body and nests on either floating vegetation or solid mounds. There is confusion about its taxonomy. Based on behavioral and morphological studies, it's been traditionally classified in the same group as the heron, storks, and ibises. However, other genetic analyses would suggest that it's closer to the pelican and the hammerhead, another African water bird with no clear taxonomic position. The shoebill stork is known to move slowly, having a tendency to stay in a static position for a long period of time. This rare feature has earned it the statue-like description. It's not known to engage in any kind of tactile hunting, rather it hunts entirely using vision. The moment that it spots prey, it will quickly launch a violent strike, 60% of which is successful. The shoebill stork prefers to forage in sparse vegetation. And they also hang out around hippopotamuses because their activity forces fish to the surface, making them easy prey for the shoebill stork. Number 12. Silver fox. The silver fox is also referred to as the black fox. It belongs to the same species as the red fox, having a black coat with speckles of silver, which is the result of higher levels of melanin in its genetic makeup. The silver fox represents roughly 10% of the entire red fox population, which is the most common species of fox in the world. In terms of its physical characteristics, the silver fox ranges in sizes from 18 to 33.75 inches, with a tail that ranges between 12 to 21 inches. The creature has strong legs and can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour, a feature that places them well above other foxes in terms of hunting down prey, but also escaping predators. The fur of the silver fox is long, soft, and glossy, and that feature puts their pelts in high demand in the fur coat market. The process of selective breeding is what led the birth of two varieties, the standard silver and the Alaskan silver. While the standard has a silkier and softer coat, featuring distinct black and silver tones, the Alaskan silver fox features a coarse coat with browner fur, especially around the ears and the sides of the head. Silver foxes have great eyesight and hearing, and they can jump to heights of around 6 feet, setting them apart as being good hunters. Whether a prey hides under the snow or the ground, a silver fox can easily locate and capture it. Number 11. Red panda. The red panda is also known as the lesser panda because of its small size, although it is slightly larger than a domestic cat. It's native to the eastern Himalayas and the high mountains. The creature has a bear-like body, thick russet fur, black belly and limbs, and white markings on the side of its head and above its small eyes. It also has large round heads with short snouts and big pointed ears, and its tail is marked with alternating red and buff rings. Its ankles are extremely flexible, and the fibula and tibia are attached to allow the fibula to rotate about its axis. Red pandas are skilled climbers and acrobatic animals that predominantly stay in trees and prefer to feed on bamboo. They use trees for shelter, to get away from predators like leopards and jackals, and also to sunbathe in the winter. Red pandas have a modified wrist bone for grasping bamboo when feeding. They use their long and bushy tails for balance, and also to cover themselves in the winter, presumably to contain warmth. During cold weather, they can become dormant, lowering their metabolic rate and also increasing it every few hours as they wake up to forage. A red panda will typically weigh anywhere between 3.6 and 7.7 kilograms. Their body is about 22 or 24.5 inches long, with a tail that features between 14 and 18 inches long. Red pandas are mostly solitary and generally quiet, only making subtle vocalizations that can be heard in close proximity. Although bamboo does constitute about 95% of their diet, they're also known to forage for roots, succulent grasses, fruits, and insects, which includes the occasional killing and eating of birds and small mammals. Number 10. Mangalitsa pig. Covered with a sheep-like fleece that's black, red, or blonde, the Mangalitsa is a Hungarian breed of domestic pig that's known to have a distinct appearance. It was developed in the mid-19th century by crossbreeding breeds from the nearly Romanian Salanta and Hungarian Bacani with the European wild boar and Serbian Sumaja breed. Once renowned as a lard pig that was capable of producing 70 liters of rendered fat, the Mangalitsa grows a thick, curly coat of hair, which had earned it the nickname the pig sheep. The only other breed of pig with a similar long coat is the now extinct Lincolnshire curly coat pig of England. The Mangalitsa pig also has well-marbled meat that is less dry than the meat of that of modern breeds. The primary product that's obtained from the pig is sausage, which is said to be quite delicious. Only 3 varieties of the pig exist, which are distinct in color. The blonde, as the name implies, is blonde. The swallow-bellied has a blonde lower portion of its body, while the upper portion of its body is black, and the red is a more ginger color. These pigs have a decent life, being free rangers and fed on black walnuts, chestnuts, horse nuts, acorns, and almost anything. They can weigh anywhere between 280 to 300 pounds and have the perfect combination of meat and fat. Number 9. The Highland cow. Highland cows are commonly known as Highland coos, which means cow in the Old Scots language. They're the type of cow that's commonly found in the Highlands of Scotland. They have long horns and a long shaggy coat, and are a hardy breed that's able to withstand the intemperate conditions within the region. In fact, Highland cows have been described as almost as cold-tolerant as the Arctic-dwelling caribou and reindeer. Their thick coats make them much less tolerant of heat than zebu cattle, which originated in South Asia and are adapted for hot climates. The coats will provide them with natural insulation from heavy rainfall, along with powerful winds. Highland cows are known to have a clear structure and hierarchy of dominance, which reduces aggression. Older cattle are dominant to calves and younger ones, and males are dominant to females. Also, the young bulls will dominate adult cows when they reach about 2 years of age. The mature bull can weigh anywhere up to 800 kilograms, while the heifers weigh around 500 kilograms. The meat of Highland cattle tends to be more lean than most beef because they're largely insulated by their thick and shaggy hair rather than subcutaneous fat. They have super great vision and heightened senses, which may be a contributing factor to enabling them to navigate the rugged lands with a long fringe. Though they may appear like they cannot see well, they do know what they're looking for. Number 8. Patagonian Mara. The Patagonian Mara is a rabbit-like animal found in open and semi-open habitats in Argentina, which includes large parts of Patagonia. It lives in habitats with shrub cover as well as overgrazed and barren soils in the Monte Desert biome. The Patagonian Mara has a very strange appearance. At first, you may well think that it's a small deer with long ears, or even a miniature version of an antelope, but it's more of a large rodent. It has distinctive long ears that are similar to those of a hare, long hind limbs that are more muscular than its forelimbs, compressed feet, and a short hairless tail. Its strong hind legs will allow it to flee and escape from predators quite quickly. Although Patagonian maras have been compared to deer and antelope, they are largely herbivorous, feeding primarily on green vegetation and fruit. The creature is primarily diurnal, spending about 46% of its daily activities on feeding. But in other seasons, their activity can be unimodal and bimodal. The predators of this creature can include grisons, foxes, and birds of prey, and they're also host to parasites such as the nematode worm. Maras have a very unique social behavior. They stay together for life, and their partners are only replaced after death. The male maintains the pair by following the female wherever she may go. He will also mark her with his urine and marks the ground around her with secretions from his glands and feces. Maras make a number of vocalizations during grazing or even in slow locomotion. Number 7. Emperor Tamarin. The emperor tamarin is a small tree-dwelling monkey that lives in extended family groups. They have long and white whiskers on their muzzle, on both sides that look like mustaches. It's believed that the creature was named after German Emperor Wilhelm II, who wore a mustache. They have dark fur on their faces and ears, and their bodies are primarily gray, having small amounts of gold, white, and red. They have long and red tails with little hands that have non-opposable thumbs, and they also have long canine teeth and claws rather than nails on all of their digits except their big toe. Emperor tamarins are native to the southwest Amazon basin, having a range that crosses extreme southeastern Peru, northwestern Brazil, and northwestern Bolivia. They inhabit a variety of wooded habitats, which includes lowlands, mountains, and seasonally flooded forests, and they're omnivorous, primarily eating fruit, but also feeding on insects, gum, nectar, and small animals. The emperor tamarin will normally give birth to twins, though single births and multiples, such as triplets, may also occur. Scientists once considered this breed to be a monogamous species, but their observations in the wild would reveal that they actually have a polyandrous mating system. Above all, the creatures are very social and have been found to interact with humans. Their social and interactive nature may be the reason why they live in extended family groups of 2 and even up to 15 in a group. Number 6. Tanuki. Tanuki is a Japanese raccoon dog that's a species of canid that's endemic to Japan. It's related to wolves, foxes, and domestic dogs, and the creature has served as a cultural icon in Japanese folklore for centuries. Many legends and myths will portray the tanuki as a mischievous trickster and shapeshifter having supernatural abilities. You tend to spot them in Nintendo video games and Studio Ghibli films. Tanuki is identified by its thick fur, masked face, bushy tail, and curious nature. And while tree climbing ability is not often associated with dogs, the tanukis will exhibit this trait. Thanks to their curved claws, they can be found foraging for berries and fruit on tree branches. In addition, they're also known to be skilled swimmers, diving underwater to hunt and forage. Despite being one of the most ancient canine species, these critters are highly sociable. In fact, the male tanuki is more caring when compared to the other species. They often bring food to their pregnant mates and will help to raise the pups, with whom they live for 4 to 5 months after birth. Tanukis are the only canines that are known to hibernate, and rather than braving the snowy, barren winter months, as is common with wolves, foxes, and other canines, they prefer to spend the long winters with their mating partner. They don't bark, but instead will whine, growl, and mew, just like domesticated cats. They're mainly nocturnal, though they're also known to be active during the day. Number 5. Blue-footed booby. If there's anything strange about the blue-footed booby, it's its mating display, in which its distinctive bright baby blue feet play a key role. In fact, its mating display has captivated the human imagination for centuries. Blue-footed boobies are marine birds that are native to subtropical and tropical regions of the eastern Pacific Ocean, and during their mating rituals, the males will simply show off their feet to prospective mates with a high-stepping strut. The bluer the feet, the more attractive the mate. Like other boobies, bluefoots nest on land at night, and at daybreak they then take to the air in search of seafood, sometimes fishing in cooperative groups. They've also been seen flying far out to sea while on the lookout for small fish like anchovies, sardines, and mackerel, and they're known to eat their prey while still underwater. The female is larger and can carry more of the food. Upon sighting the prey, these seabirds will fold their long wings back around their streamlined bodies and then plunge into the water from as high as 80 feet up. They can also dive from a sitting position onto the surface. They use their webbed feet to cover their young ones and to keep them warm. But one feature that makes the boobies less graceful, and that's their presence on land. In fact, many of the species are thought to derive their name from the Spanish word bobo, which means stupid. Boobies, like other seabirds, are clumsy on land. They have an apparent fearlessness of humans and only breed and rear their young ones on land, usually along the rocky coasts of the eastern Pacific. And as stated before, they sleep at nighttime, generally on the land. Number 4. Golden snub-nosed monkeys. Now, there's a reason why this primate is known as the golden snub-nosed monkey. Its rich golden brown to golden red fur has black and golden patches on the back. The golden snub-nosed monkey is endemic to China, specifically a fragmented area along the Tibetan Plateau. They inhabit the mountainous forests of southwestern China at elevations anywhere from 4,900 to 11,200 feet above sea level. The golden snub-nosed monkey has a tail that is as long as its body. Its pale blue face resembles that of a trefoil, and the males will also exhibit red swellings at the corners of their mouths. These primates can withstand colder than average temperatures better than any other non-human primate. Their diets vary markedly with the seasons, though they're primarily herbivorous, with lichens being their main food source. As a species, they are diurnal and largely arboreal, spending about 97% of their time in the canopy. In regards to their habits and lifestyle, these monkeys are highly social. During the summer months, they'll form large groups of even up to 200 individuals. During the wintertime, they live in smaller groups of around 30. They have a rather unusual form of communication, this ventriloquist type of vocalization involving making their body or face static. They often whine and trill, especially when they're feeding. Number 3. The ghost jellyfish. Now, it's not the case that this particular jellyfish is invisible. In fact, it looks like something out of a science fiction film. Meet the ghost jellyfish, sometimes known as the phantom jellyfish, and you're about to find out why. From the distinctively shaped bell of the jellyfish, you can tell where the species name comes from, though most ghosts don't come with arms that extend more than 30 feet. In the case of this ghost jellyfish, the bell can grow to a diameter of 50 centimeters. It's usually cream or pale yellow in color, having a dark center and a translucent rim. The thick cushioned bell also bears more of a resemblance to a white blob and can often become tatty when it comes into contact with rocks or other sharp materials. The ghost jellyfish features 8 large marginal lobes and 8 bundles of marginal tentacles that look like thread. There may be 100 or more tentacles in each bundle, which are either translucent or reddish in color, extending for up to 10 meters. It's found in and around the coasts of China and Japan. An organism that shares some similarities with the ghost jellyfish is the stalked barnacle Alepis pacifica, which suspends from the margin of the bell. It's translucent, having a smaller whitish color to the jellyfish, which makes it inconspicuous. Number 2. Three-headed frog. This rare and rather ugly beast was lurking in the waters of western Super-Mare when it was discovered. This is Froggy, a three-headed, six-legged mutant frog whose deformity may well be linked to a genetic defect or even pollution. At first, the children that discovered it thought that it was 3 frogs that were piled on top of each other, but it wasn't until it leapt that they realized it was actually one creature. Tim Halliday, a professor of biology at the Open University and international director of a task force studying the declining amphibian population, would claim that the mutation was probably caused by a genetic defect, or even a parasite, or that pollution could have upset the frog's hormones during the development stage. Mike Dilger, a wildlife biologist, would attribute the reason for the three-headed frog's development to damage to the embryo, a spontaneous mutation such as that of conjoined human twins, or factors in the environment which included pollution. Experts are still trying to carry out further testing on the frog to investigate its biological makeup. Although the creature's eyes and legs appear to function normally, it's actually not known whether it eats using all 3 of its mouths. Does this weird creature look like anything that you've seen? Let me know about it in the comments below. Number 1. Venezuelan poodle moth. The Venezuelan poodle moth is a mysterious and fluffy insect that's only been found once and was never sampled. It would be discovered in Venezuela in 2009 and is said to resemble that of a poodle, that is, if poodles had huge wings and feathers instead of ears. Unfortunately, no specimen would be brought back when it was discovered, so there's not a whole lot of information about it. However, we can give you some descriptions based on its physical characteristics. The fluff that can be seen on its body is made of a substance that is basically the insect equivalent of cellulose, the material that makes up the cell walls in plants. The creature uses that fluff as sound dampening for protection against bat calls. The fluff simply absorbs the sound and then muffles the return signal, making it more difficult for bats to see it with their echolocation. You can then conclude that bats are one of the predators of this poodle moth. The Venezuelan poodle moth is often confused online with images of the domestic silk moth, which is native to China, and also its unusual appearance and dearth of actual information on the moth have led to it being compared to famous animal hoaxes. The photographs of this moth would be taken in a national park in Venezuela. The region has diverse habitat types, which includes moist forests and high rock plateaus. Which of these creatures interests you the most, and do any of them look like something you've seen before? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you next time.